And that's very rare these days. Our younger generation needs to see it. It's very rare these days. You ask young folk who really love you other than mama, who really is willing to live and die for you and tell the truth about your situation, give you the strength and the courage to deal with the history of niggerization. Because when you look closely in the eyes of Mumia, you see a black man who refused to be niggerized. Brother West, what do you mean by being niggerized? You're rendered so scared and afraid and intimidated. You really believe you're less beautiful, you're less moral, you're less intelligent. You walk around with your back humped over, you're laughing when it ain't funny, you're scratching when it don't itch, you're wearing the mask. All you want to do is just somehow gain access. You're terrorized, you're traumatized, and you're stigmatized. That's what it is to be niggerized. And you're looking at a free black man that said, in the face of terror, I'm going to be a revolutionary lover who organizes and mobilizes and tells the people the truth. I'm going to have revolutionary courage, so when cowardly folk come along, they want to shake and shudder and tremble because they can't stand the fact that I got a backbone, and I'm going to have a revolutionary joy, not just about the fleeting pleasures of a market-driven capitalist society trying to get us to be so stimulated and titillated with clever gimmicks of weapons of mass distraction. No, this brother straightens his back up, and even on death row, he's still thinking about others. That's the connection between all freedom fighters of whatever country. It could be Martin King, it can be Miles Horton, it could be Cesar Chavez, it can be Huey Newton. You find joy in serving others. You find joy in highlighting their context. You find joy in taking a stand and telling the truth, and you're willing to live and die in doing that. That is so alien these days in our market-driven society, and that's the reason why the Occupy movement is such a beautiful thing, because they straighten their backs up. They are echoing what Mumia Abu-Jamal's been talking about for 30 years. For 30 years. And that's why we are here. I know it's getting late. All I got to say is, let us keep this spirit, keep the love, keep the joy, and keep the courage. Be organized, mobilized, do something bigger than your own ego, connected to a vision that has to do with the children, has to do with the elderly, the orphan, the widow, the fatherless, the motherless, working people. This is a moment of profound democratic enlightenment and awareness, and we hope deep democratic revolution. This is the third moment in American history when it comes to revolution. The first was against monarchy. That's what this center is all about. We are in the center of revolutionaries who are willing to organize and mobilize against a king named George. And then here come 1861 when they wrote a constitution in the 1770s and didn't even refer to the institution of U.S. slavery that took dignified Africans and tried to convince us that we had to deserve solely to be enslaved and exploited. The niggerization setting in, and you end up fighting the Civil War not invoked in your Constitution. Civil War or slavery not invoked in your Constitution. Monarchy, slavery. We are at the beginning of the new revolutionary wave in America, and it's against oligarchy, it's against plutocracy, it's against Wall Street oligarchy.